Hi, and welcome to my kitchen, where all great projects were made. I just today wanted to make a quick video to show you how to make basic bulletin board letters on your Cricut. So, first, you obviously will need your Cricut and your computer ready to go. I promise you I'm never this organized. I feel like when I'm always doing a Cricut project, I have everything everywhere. So today I actually got organized, and I find that it helps a lot to just have everything in this space. I don't have a very big desk area, so this kitchen island counter does it well for me. So I have the Cricut Air Explorer 2. It's the basic model, and it works for me. I mostly use it for bulletin board letters and cutting vinyl projects. So let's get started. The first thing you want to do is kind of play around with the Cricut software and get your design. So choose your fonts and decide what style you want it to look like. I find that thick fonts like this work a lot better for bulletin board because it cuts much faster, and the really thin fonts, as cute as they are, get messed up with the needle and it just doesn't work as good. As I say that, I do have a thin font here. I wanted to style like thin, thick, so you can see how that works and the difference. One of the most difficult and challenging parts about a Cricut is getting the sizing correct. I've done a lot of bulletin board cutouts in my time, so I know about how big I want them to be. It's gonna be about 4 to 5 inches for like a standard bulletin board, at least the ones in my school. But today I'm making bulletin board letters for my at-home classroom, so I set up some paper on my wall that I'll show you a little bit later. So it's a little bit different. So I went and measured it, and I saw that I needed about 22 inches across. So what you're gonna do is, once you decide the style you want, you're going to pick the size. So if you look on your software, you'll see there's a spot for the size that tells you the height and the width, and those are in inches. So I know I want it to be 22 inches in width. So I'm gonna go to my size on my Cricut software, and I'm gonna enter 22 inches for the width. And that will automatically size it up. And if you look at one letter, you'll see it's about 3 inches, which is a little bit small for me. Like I said, I usually like to have it 4 to 5 inches. So maybe you want to mess with the height a little bit and get it to be 4 inches exactly. But if you see that, also adjust your width so it's going to be a little bit longer. But you can kind of accommodate that on your bulletin board by pasting the letters a little bit bigger. So now I'm going to do that with my second font that I chose here. And since I changed the width, I'm going to make the welcome 4 inches tall and the 5th grade 4 inches tall. So now they kind of match up in size. Here's the tricky part about the Cricut, is getting the sizing correct to fit on your mat. So this is the standard 12 by 12 mat. I recommend you have multiple mats if you can swing it. Having 2 to 3 works best, and you'll see why. This button will change the way your Cricut projects go. Because here, if you take a look at the screen, you get this little warning, caution little icon saying this is not gonna work, it's too long. So what you're gonna do, simple trick, is find on your software the advanced setting and click advanced ungroup to letters. So what that means is now the letters are not, it's not seeing it as one phrase, it's seeing each letter as its own thing. And that's gonna be the game changer. So I'm gonna ungroup to letters, advanced, ungroup to letters, and now each part of my project is individual. And that should be really all you need to do. The next thing you need to make sure before you go to cut is decide what paper you want, what color your paper is. So I'm doing black for black bulletin board letters, so my font is black. If you're gonna do a different color, then you need to go and change your color on your software. So once you're ready, you're gonna make it, and you're gonna prep your mats. So I have my standard 12 by 12 mats that I'm going to put my black paper on. Like I said, it's good to have multiple, and you'll see why, because it really will make your project go a lot faster. So you're gonna make sure your paper lines up really good with the line, and give it a little rub so that it doesn't lift, because if it lifts during your project, your letters are ruined. It's gonna be ruined. The next thing before you start cutting is you need to make sure that your mat, your paper size, corresponds to the cut size on your software. So the default is 12 by 12 material size. You can change it to any paper size. This is the 8.5 by 11 paper, so you're gonna change it to that. And it's going to rearrange the letters so that they all fit on paper. So now you see that I will need 2 mats to finish my project. So I'm gonna set this mat up and put it to start on my Cricut. All you need to do is load it up with the arrow, and the Cricut does the rest, and press the go button, continue, and then your Cricut button will start flashing and it'll say it's ready to go. And while my first mat is going, I'm going to load up my second mat so that it can be ready to go for when my first mat is set. Again, make sure you line it up good. And now we wait. I always like to watch it. I'm always very amazed at how it does its thing because I don't know how it does circles and things. So let's observe. Once it's done, you need to unload it using the arrow and load your second mat. Always make sure that everything looks good on the screen because exactly what you see here is exactly what's going to happen on this mat. So if something's wrong, you need to go back and edit your project. So this is why having multiple mats is good because now I have these letters that are done and this one that's working. So I can go ahead and start taking these out once this one is doing its thing. So my best advice for taking the letters out or taking vinyl out is to pull the mat away from the letters. So you'll see, you just leave the paper here and pull the mat and then the letters will come on their own. But be gentle because they will rip. So now you have the letters on here, you can peel them apart. Same thing, pull the mat away from the letter. Not the letter away from the mat or else they'll start to bend. Now if you can see I have my skinny letters, they're very skinny, so you might want to use a tool to take these off so that they don't accidentally rip. But these thick letters are the best for bulletin boards. You can see I just pulled it off super easy from my mat without any issues. Make sure you don't lose any letters in the process because then you gotta do this over again. And here's some letters that I'm about to lose. Okay, once you have your letters all weeded and removed from your mat, you are ready to go to the bulletin board. If you are new to using Cricut, I know it can be very challenging to figure out the software and figure out all the machinery and figure out how to get quick with it. So I hope this helped you in your Cricut adventures.